Well, it could be the most expensive download on record, more than $22,000 for one song. A college student who admitted downloading and sharing music with his friends just got hit with a staggering verdict of $675,000, which breaks down to an astonishing $22,500 per song. So, were they worth it? And does the punishment fit the crime? Joel Tenenbaum joins us live this morning from Boston. He's the Boston University student who got tagged with this bill. It's good to see you this morning, Joel. You did this from 1999 to 2007. You knew that you were doing something wrong. Why did you keep doing it?
Well, it wasn't really something that was foremost on my mind in terms of it being illegal or not. I mean, it was just sort of, I had Napster on my computer in front of me, and when I saw it, it was just this library of music in front of me, and so I did what came naturally to, I mean, so many other people in my generation try to go to a college campus and find someone who hasn't done this sort of thing.
It wasn't just people in your generation. You know, when Napster first came out, there were all kinds of people who were downloading, but then, of course, there was the court cases against Napster, and everybody said, oh, wait a second, maybe this isn't kosher to do, but you kept on doing it. Why?
Well, it was the same sort of thing. It was Napster went down, and there were still platforms out there that I could get free music on. This was something that I was used to doing. It was sort of a bit of a social thing with my friends in terms of getting the music that I got, and I think I've explored a lot of music this way I wouldn't have gotten a chance to otherwise explore.
Right. Well, I mean, it could be a social thing among your friends. But Joel, it could be a social thing among your friends to shoplift as well, but it doesn't make it right. I'm just wondering why you thought it was right.
Well, I mean, there's this comparison of shoplifting. I've heard this, that if you go into a store and you steal a CD, how is that any different? Yeah. And I think that's sort of, I don't think, because I have never stolen a CD from a store. I've never done that. And these are different things inherently for no other reason.
What's the difference?
Sure, I'm glad you asked, John. So, for example, if nothing else, the amount of work that you have to go through to steal something from a store, you have to go in and sneak it out and I guess, you know,
so
run
because
afterwards,
it's easier, it's okay?
And this is, well, hold on, let me just, so I don't know, this is something that I think just came naturally to so many people in the same situation as me, whereas shoplifting isn't something that does. And so even if that point doesn't, you know, convince you, I think if you take polls of people, the vast majority of people do see these as inherently different things. That copying something, that sharing something online, which is infinitely duplicable and there right in front of you and natural, is different from going into a store and then like sneaking out of it.
But perception of the law and the law can be two different things. I mean, you know, you said that you believe that artists deserve to get paid for their work, and yet at the same time you were downloading some stuff and they weren't getting paid. Here's a couple of quotes from artists, and I'm friends with a number of people in the music business that have been for years as well, and they're really against all of this. Here's what Stevie Wonder said, quote, "Record companies, publishers, radio stations, retailers, artists, and others in our industry must take very strong position against the stealing of our writing and music, or else those writings and music will become as cheap as the garbage in the streets." Bare Naked Ladies, a band that I first met back up in Canada, said when the Gap went online, T-shirts didn't become free. So you've got a lot of pushback from the artists here saying that downloading music on the internet for free is just plain and simple wrong.
But, well, yes, John, but you haven't quoted Trent Reznor, Radiohead, Green Day.
Okay, let me quote Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails, who says, just because technology exists where you can duplicate something, that doesn't give you the right to do it. There's nothing wrong with giving some tracks away or bits of stuff, that's fine, but it's not everybody's right. Once I record something, it's not public domain to give it away freely.
Well, he has actually. On his latest album, he's given away his Creative Commons, so I don't know.
But that was his choice, though.
That quote is... No, I understand, but I don't know where that quote comes from, but I'm focusing more on his just rabid criticism of the RIAA and this continued campaign to extract this campaign, which they've said is to teach the public a lesson, and the idea is to extract huge sums out of people. The majority of artists don't see this as threatening, and I think a lot of people discover music this way and end up paying for it that they wouldn't have otherwise discovered. So I do acknowledge that there's a gray area here, and I don't do it anymore, but I think it's a gray area. I think it can be used to the benefit or the detriment of the artists themselves. But I think that's something that everybody needs to come to terms with for themselves, and not to have this huge RIAA machine out to teach the public a lesson on this. I mean, if you're going to make the argument that I am responsible for hurting the industry, and if you can show up in court and you can make an argument for the actual damage that I've caused, which I think is more along the lines of 99 cents on iTunes, then sure. If I've hurt the industry, I should be held absolutely responsible, but in a reasonable way. And I don't really think that $700,000 is reasonable.
Well, let's talk then about the settlement. $675,000, $22,500 per song. Where are you going to get the money?
Well, I don't have the money for that. I don't have the money for even any appreciable fraction of that. I really have no choice at this point but to declare bankruptcy. Another question, John, a lot of people have asked me is why I didn't settle. Well, I did try to settle from the start. I offered $500 after they sent me a letter. I sent a money order to them, which they returned saying, essentially, you know, call us when you want to actually talk.
So you thought you gave them fair value for the songs based upon what they cost when you download them off someplace like iTunes or something like that, right?
Or I based the decision on, exactly, I based the decision on that $500 should be more than is reasonable, and it was what I could put together at the time. I think at the time they wanted $3,000. Move forward in time to showing up in court in the pre-trial days. I offered them $5,250, and they came back demanding double that. So now I don't have that. I was ready to declare bankruptcy. So, I mean, who is being unreasonable, who dragged who into court is really a matter of the people who do spin, and I've never held that I can compete with the RIA in spin. They have a professional spokeswoman who's professionally paid, and so I'll just try to tell it as it is.
Now, you've got the backing of a very well-known law professor at Harvard, and he's making this a project for his students as well to fight on your behalf. Do you plan to appeal the decision?
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of options, I've been told, open to us. I don't know the official names or anything, but we can appeal, we can file some legal motion to the judge to ask her to adjust the amount. So here's that she was.
So here's a question for you, Joel. Jamie Thomas Rassett was in a similar situation as you. She was fined initially $222,000. She appealed, and they slapped her with a $2 million fine. I mean, is there a risk here of going to appeal?
Well, I mean, there obviously is that. I mean, there are people remark jokes like she should have quit when she was behind, but I mean, the difference between $200,000 and $2 million, I'm sure she can't afford either of those. I'm sure either of those is a bankrupting judgment. So the number is symbolic because it's not going to be paid. The RIAA aren't going to get that much money, and the artists aren't getting money. I mean, the only people making money here are the lawyers. The RIAA is losing customers. The artists aren't getting any money out of this. The RIAA has said this is a money-losing campaign, and my generation is just getting alienated and I think, you know, kind of screwed in the whole process. So I don't think this helps anybody but the lawyers.
We'll keep following this closely. Joel Tenenbaum, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for stopping by.
Sure, John.
All right, appreciate it.
3 minutes past the hour.